video. But welcome back, everybody, to Comics Della Morte. As always, here on another episode, 115 with Krampus, with our returning guests from last week, Mike Uhlir. And thank you again for coming on. I know you were out for the holidays, but I appreciate you hopping on when you're down here in Florida visiting family.
Yeah, I'm about a stone's throw away from you, actually, over here in Central Florida.
Yeah.
I had to tuck into one of the guest bedrooms over here to do this. So,
well, you're in Lakeland. I'm in Brandon, Valrico, so I'm a lot closer than you think. Yeah,
it's like what, 45 minutes?
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, it's right up the road.
Yeah. So yeah, you've never seen this movie, but I got you to watch it, and you really enjoyed it. So before we go into the actual movie itself, just the idea of Krampus has been around for such a long time, where people who don't know, for whatever reason, during Christmas in the beginning, Krampus and St. Nicholas would travel to different people's houses, and St. Nicholas would give the good kids, gifts, fruits, sweets, stuff like that. But the bad kids, the person dress up with Krampus would actually take a whip and whip the kids. So I'm like, that's pretty damn dark, But in German folklore, they still do parades and stuff like that. But anything like folklore, it has become such a pop culture icon, even more now today, because Krampus, you could, after the movie came out, the movie we're going to be reviewing, it became have a great following. At one point, they had the actual character of Krampus in Spirit Halloween, where you were able to buy it. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That was cool. I knew about the German folklore, and then I don't know if you ever watched the show Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell, but they did an episode with Krampus, and it is awesome. And that's kind of the only things I've ever seen with Krampus was that TV show episode. And so I hadn't watched the movie. You recommended it, and then I watched it last night, and it blows my mind how I didn't see it back in 2015 when it came out. It just totally went below the radar. It just ducked under. But yeah, just an incredible movie. And it was in all fairness, that's an all ages movie. There was not any blood. I mean, maybe
but that's what I love about it.
It was not a gory movie. It was just a fun monster Christmas movie. Dark, but it wasn't you could show it to a 10-year-old. At least I think.
All right, everybody, I am back. I think it kicked out Mike. We're just going to wait for him to come back. Got a message from him. Always technical difficulties sometimes, but you got to love technology. So we're going to wait for him to get back. But I hope everybody's having a great holiday weekend. I hope everybody had a safe travel to visiting family or wherever you're at. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, happy Hanukkah, whatever the case may be. Just hope that you have a great holidays from the Crimson Owl Comics channel, the Comics Della Morte show. All right, Mike said he is on his way. But if you all haven't seen the movie, you have to watch it because it is just such a great movie. And Mike's back, but like he said, it fell under the radar. But go on what you were saying about it being a movie for everyone.
Yeah, it didn't have a lot of vulgarity or gore in it. And I think like a little kid could watch it easily. I think a 10-year-old could watch it.
Yeah, it's like on a Gremlins level. You know, it has the comedy there. It has the horror aspects, and that's what's so great about it. It's not like Black Christmas where it's like, you know, all out slasher stuff. But you know, out of the whole idea where you know, people are being visited by this creature that, you know, will come and punish you. The original design of the Krampus creature was just a hairy, like goat-like thing with horns. But I loved, like, I'll let you give your intake too, but I just love how, like, you see still the horns, this giant massive thing with hooves, but he has like a beard and human flesh, but it kind of looks like he's wearing like not a mask, but it looks like someone's face, almost like, because the way it's like withered and wrinkled in a way. I don't know if you got that take.
No,
when you actually saw his face.
No, it definitely looked like some sort of like large, you know, cloven foot hoofed demon. But yeah, he was wearing a mask. I couldn't tell if it was like another face he had put over it, but you could see underneath there that's not, you weren't getting the full look of what this.
Oh yeah, like imagine he killed an old man and he was doing like a Leatherface style.
Yeah, that's pretty much the impression I got, and they did a good job keeping. I mean, the creature design was awesome, but they did a good job just kind of like not really showing him off until closer to the end. And even then, you know, like I said, it looks like he's just wearing a mask over his face. You really don't get a look at many of the creatures in there. The good portion of them are all wearing masks.
Well, yeah, it's like we'll go down the list talking about each creature because they did such a great job with like each monster or like creature in the film. And it definitely has a creature feature film aspect to it because there was so much. But,
yeah,
you know, before we get into the creatures, the whole family where it's like you have kids that are mean, snobby, being rude. You have family members who are not getting along, like pretty much aspects where you have a feeling that the parents are going to divorce, and then you have like other family members coming along who don't care about being around you any other time of the year except for this year because they could get free stuff out of you. So it definitely is that type of family where it's like you don't want to be around this family during the holidays, you know.
Yeah, and I think how the movie kicks off where it's showing the Black Friday shopping, and you know, just the worst that comes out of people during Christmas, and it just kind of played into it where, like, you know, the whole pageantry of what Christmas is supposed to be was like just, you know, obviously not working.
And thank God that Black Friday shopping is not like that like it used to be. I mean, we still have Black Friday, like in Walmart, you have like deals every week. But I think because of COVID, you're not going to have like the mad chaos like it used to be, where people would literally run over and almost like injure or kill each other just over a stupid deal for one night.
Yeah, fortunately, so, I've never been I've never been to a Black Friday. No, that's not true. Yeah. I think I went once in like 2019. I think, but yeah, it's never really appealed to me, so I can never understand why people were just like killing themselves over, you know. But I guess it's maybe the adrenaline, the sport of it. It's not so much the deals. I think people just get a rush out of doing it. So, humanity.
Well, yeah, exactly. But with the whole, you know, story, like again, with the family being stubborn and obnoxious, I loved how, like you were saying, different things. I mean, I wish they would have showed more on the creature that we're going to begin with, but I understand they were trying to indicate that it could be anywhere, and if it takes form, it could slow itself down. But the snow monster, like, it sucks that you didn't get to see like a real snowman and it was just this thing tunneling through the ground. But think about it. If you go outside, it could travel really fast and it could be wherever it wants to be. And I like the idea that it started off with like the teenage girl who just wanted to leave to be with other people instead of being with her family.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, that thing kind of had a Tremors vibe to it.
Yes, exactly.
Basically, kind of what that creature was. But yeah, you never saw it, so I was kind of a little disappointed by that.
Yeah,
I was generally interested in seeing what that was. But yeah,
but they could have got in trouble if it was more like Jack Frost, that horror movie aspect. You know, funny horror movie, but I could see where they wanted to go.
Yeah, and then when the daughter got taken out pretty early in the movie, but didn't die, but got taken out of the film pretty quick. Yeah, like the movie almost had like
I'll let you
aspect to it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it had almost like a Willy Wonka aspect to it as it was taking out characters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you didn't think they died, but you knew they just got shoved away somewhere.
Oh yeah, yeah. I thought it was funny how like the evil elves came in, and you know you really didn't get to see their faces too much, but I thought it was funny how the evil elves came in and they tied up the aunt who was always sitting in the chair and just drug her out. You know, I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, I think the elves almost gave me a vibe from the movie Legend.
Yes,
It had that kind of feel to it. The way their outfits were and how they acted, it very much felt like that.
But it was funny too how when they pulled her out, they gave like a little sound effect to it with the bells and everything. So yeah. But before we get into like our favorite creature, or you could even talk about your favorite creature and then we'll talk about the others. But out of all the creatures in the scenes, what really did you like the most out of what scene the most?
The Jack in the Box.
Yes.
Into that worm looking thing. That was probably the best done one.
Yes, that was my favorite too. Like, I didn't know if you were going to pick that one, but I loved it. Like the whole idea that his mouth opened, kind of like how the vampires looked in the second Blade movie.
Yeah,
but the idea is that you had like this old school Jack in a Box, and then he he wasn't like chewing. Again, he didn't kill her. I mean, the way his teeth was like he had sharp teeth. This guy could literally like bite the kid's head off whole, but he didn't. He was like swallowing the girl whole
and putting him in like a sack. That was his body, was a sack.
Yeah, like, exactly. Yeah. But I thought it was cool how like they included like his hands and everything instead of like the Jack in a Box from Demonic Toys with Full Moon. But you know what I liked about it is that the toys with Krampus wasn't like a modern Jack in a Box. It was like a antique looking type of Jack in a Box that looked like it came from like the 1950s or 40s, or even with the other things we'll get into, you could tell it was more like porcelain or old school. Like it wasn't like plastic or anything like that.
No, it wore like a porcelain mask that was split over.
Yeah.
And once again, it's one of those where it's like a mask and underneath you can tell it's a demon. You know,
yeah.
It's like gnarly looking monster. And the only other one that was just kind of creepy to me was the I don't know how to describe it. It's the one that flies. It's all white and feathery. It kind of has like the body of
the Sebrum.
There you go.
Basically, the angel.
Yes. Okay. That's what that was. Okay.
I mean, it's an angel, but they call it a Sebrum, or however you say it. The actual angel name.
I didn't
But
pick
yeah,
up on that. Now
and
that makes a
that's
lot more sense. That's what it was. Yeah.
yeah, because it's supposed to be a tree topper and everything, but that's the thing that I was talking about. It's like the wings were almost like glass-like because it would, because if I remember, it would cut you if it swiped its wings at you. But that angel, you could tell the angel, even though there was a mask underneath and it was not showing its true form, it had that porcelain feel to it that you could tell it was like an old school, like hand painted look. It wasn't like you would see an angel now.
Yeah, the face and the hair almost reminds me of the Bride of Chucky.
Yes, exactly.
It's very close to that kind of look. Yeah.
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 But yeah, just really cool stuff. I mean, the teddy bear, I wasn't too keen on. I'm like, I think they could have done better than that.
The teddy bear and the robot were probably like,
yeah.
I mean, cool designs, but no, they weren't. They definitely weren't the standouts.
No, they weren't the show stealers, most definitely. But the most, because this is like a horror comedy, but I think the funniest part of the whole movie was the whole uncle, the shotgun in the kitchen with the gingerbread men.
Yeah, that was a good scene. Yeah,
like go ahead. I'll let you talk about that.
No, I mean that's David Koechner was the actor, and he's from Anchorman and Saturday Night Live. Yeah. So I mean he's awesome he's just fun to have in the movie. But yeah, where he's using the shotgun against the little gingerbread man, and they're overly animated. Almost, I mean, it's comical how they interact with one another.
Yeah, exactly. Like how one at the last one after he ran out of ammo, it was getting ready to stab him with a sharp. What was it?
I don't know. Was
a candy cane.
Was he going to stab him? I thought he was just jumping at him while he was on fire.
I think he had a candy cane in his hand. It's been a while, but I thought it was funny because he was closing his eyes because he knew that he was out of ammo and he was getting ready to be attacked by this. And then out of nowhere, his dog was eating the last cookie. I thought that was a nice touch there.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny. And, one of them's on fire and he's trying the little gingerbread man's trying to put him out. No, it was very, very animated scene. And then, I didn't realize though, but after I watched the movie, I went and looked it up. I'm like, I wonder who the director is. And it's the guy that wrote and directed the Trick or Treat movies.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then once I realized, I'm like, oh, then the character, like the look of the characters, like made a lot more sense to me. I'm like, oh, that's the same kind of vibe.
Yeah. And I would have to find if I can. I don't know where to find it, but just like the Trick or Treat movie, besides getting the character in Spirit Halloween, it was saying here that Legendary Comics came out with a original graphic novel called Krampus, The Shadow of St. Nicholas. So I definitely have to look into that and see if it's like a prequel or if it's like a origin and it goes into more detail.
I don't know.
But I definitely want to know more because apparently during that time they had also life-size prop reproductions of the Krampus bell and a bunch of other stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That is cool. That's really cool. Sorry, I was looking up the comic book.
Yeah. But yeah, I was going to bring that up, but I didn't know if you had looked that up, but it was by the same person who made Trick or Treat, which great thing because it gives it that trilogy thing where it's like, imagine if, Sam and Krampus was in the same movie together. That would be crazy, but I would pay to see it.
Well, I think he's supposed to be working on a new Trick or Treat movie right now.
Yeah.
So,
but if the comic But if it's by the same person, it could be in the same universe. Why not? They're both supernatural creatures.
I mean, it felt like, because it's it's written and directed by the same guy, so it felt like it would fit in the same universe.
Yeah,
which is great. That's why I always like to watch movies that are written. It's directed by the guy that also wrote it.
Yeah.
For some reason, those movies are just like 8 million times better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's why I feel that it has to be the same universe if he wrote both movies.
Yeah,
and again, both movies I feel are, pop culture classics at this point and cult classics, period. And I think they're both worthwhile, and they both deserve to be part of, that holiday time. Like, you need to watch Trick or Treat during Halloween. You need to watch this during Christmas. Like, I recommend people to add this to, like, if you want to watch something that's not like the traditional Christmas movies, this definitely has to be like on your list for Christmas horror if you want to watch horror Christmas movies.
Yeah, and this one, this isn't like as Die Hard a Christmas movie as Gremlin. This is legit a Christmas movie because it has the message. The message is Christmas and loving your family and wanting to be with your family. And I think that the whole thing about Krampus coming out in this movie is because the little kid lost hope about Christmas. So it's just very dark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it was actually released. Like, it was released in Los Angeles, but like the actual worldwide release, if I'm looking at it correctly, it was released in December 4th. So it's a Christmas movie. People who release it in December. So
it's definitely a Christmas movie. It's going to be added into my my rotation of Christmas films to watch every year for sure.
Awesome. I got him hooked.
He did. Like I said, I don't know how it got under my radar. I remember seeing a trailer for it, but
I've seen multiple trailers, and I'm like, heck yeah, sign me on. But what's crazy too is that it's one of those movies that it's been out for almost 9-10 years. What was the year?
2015. So almost 10 years.
Yeah, almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's one of those movies, even though it's that old, it holds up to today with the story, the graphics, and everything.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's awesome.
Because it's one of those things sometimes with CGI or stuff like that, it's a real downplay. Yes, the gingerbread men were comical, but again, the Jack in a Box and the Angel was really great designs and real show stealers. And as an artistic perspective, I just looked at those and paused the scene to really admire the detail that was there.
Yeah, and they're all practical. It was all practical effects.
Exactly. That's what's even better.
Oh, yeah. Anytime they use practical monster effects in a movie.
Yeah, I don't think he ever wanted to do like special effects. I think he's all about practical. And you could tell that with, majority of his stuff.
Yeah. But when you're going horror, you have to go practical. You have, CG monsters and they just don't cut it. Yeah.
And with the storyline too, how we find out, and spoiler people, if you haven't seen this, you need to watch it. If you have watched it, watch this review. But definitely, I like how you find out the grandmother, she had history with this thing. Like, she lived in a small, German town? And I can't remember, was it the war that caused?
I think it was the war that caused it, but I think this was after the war.
It was after the war.
It gave me the impression this was after the war. Yeah. Everyone's just poor and,
Yeah, basically it was like almost like they were having the Great Depression during their small town, and everybody lost hope except for her, and that's why she wasn't taken. But she had lost hope. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, she wasn't
but she
taken. I
was
think
still not taken though, which I
yeah,
thought
she
was
was.
weird.
Oh my gosh, I just saw it last night, and he said, "Why? Was it to remember?"
Yeah, to remember.
Yeah,
But
because it was the
it's
same
like,
reason why he kind of left the little boy, at the end
mhm,
of the movie.
yeah. But it's crazy because it's like you were left to remember, and you allowed your family to become this. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't think he's gonna come and find you at one point, but
Yeah,
it's funny. It has this great moments, but was there any part of the movie besides like the creatures that you thought was like a letdown, or was it just a pure like nonstop enjoyment?
no, no, there wasn't anything that was a. There's nothing that's a letdown because
Hmm.
to me it's just a fun movie.
Yeah,
You're
gotcha.
watching a fun movie. If it was like a Scorsese movie and it was, that's a little different.
Mhm. Right.
But no, I mean that's the point of these movies. They're just they're fun. It's a good way to escape. They have like when you watch the monster movies, to me they just kind of have more of a nostalgic feel of movies I
Yeah,
saw
exactly. Like
growing
old
up. So
school Godzilla movies, you know.
exactly, yeah. So when these movies like Krampus comes around, like it's just that much better when it's just
Hmm.
it just feels like I know it's made and it takes place in modern times, but the way the movie's made and how it feels, it could easily fit. um it has
Yeah.
like the 80s movie formula structure to it. So
Yes, it
that's
does.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. There was no letdown. I thought the actors are great. The
Oh
characters are
yeah.
great. You hate it, if they wanted you to hate a character, that you hated that character, you know, and vice
Yeah.
versa.
But
So
but I
yeah,
liked how even though the family didn't get along with each other and hated each other at different parts of the movie, when the family needed to work together and save each other's lives, they put aside their differences and say, "Hey, you're still my cousin, you're still my brother, sister, and I'm gonna risk my life to help you out." That's why I thought I really liked too.
yeah.
You know.
I mean that's going to happen in real life in general. If everyone
Yeah.
doesn't matter how much everyone hates each other on the internet, or how it is here nowadays
Hmm.
in the country, but yeah, if shit hit the fan, everyone would have to team up. So
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, petty bickering goes to the
Hmm.
wayside, and that's all it is. It's just pettiness for no reason. So
Yeah. So, out
yeah,
of five
no, it's,
stars, how would you rate this movie?
I mean, as for like fun creature movies,
And for what it is?
yeah, for what it is, yeah, that's a 5. That's a 5
Yeah,
on the
most
fun scale.
definitely.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
5 on the fun
it's
scale. I mean,
it's definitely a 5 out of me. I'm not going to give it like a stupid Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes. I don't care. Come after me. You know, I enjoyed the movie. I'm not going to get like technical like some of these some review people do, like with Rotten Tomatoes. It was a good
yeah,
movie, and it's definitely enjoyment, and I recommend it to anybody who hasn't seen it.
yeah, it's great. 100%. I recommend it. It's an awesome Christmas movie, awesome little monster movie, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just
And
fun.
for people again who hasn't seen it, you need to get off of here because we're going to talk about the ending that I thought was really cool and enjoyable and a nice little twist. So yeah, the ending. What did you think about the ending? Like at the
Oh,
end with yeah,
I
like
loved
you
it. It
thought
was
everybody was like thrown into hell because that's what happened. The big pit of hell and the kid was thrown, you know?
yeah.
And we
Well,
thought everybody died.
yeah, you thought everyone died. But the moment when he woke up in his room, and you can just kind of tell by the lighting, it was
Yeah.
just overly lit.
Hmm.
You kind of got the feeling like, oh, he's not back in normal. This isn't normal reality or wherever he's at.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of already had like a dream feel to it.
Hmm.
But no, it's felt like a classic Twilight Zone ending. That's
yeah,
how it felt to me. Yeah.
And for the whole idea that the snow globe idea, amazing idea. And the fact is, you see Krampus in his little area, not just monitoring him, but he has thousands of snow globes, if not like millions of snow globes throughout his whole area, indicating that you have all these families stuck in this little twilight area.
Yeah, you're stuck celebrating Christmas for eternity.
Yeah, pretty much.
Family. Which on face value doesn't sound that bad.
No,
but I'm sure after a while it'll start to suck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reading the review here. It was saying that the house is shown through a magical surveillance snow globe, along with hundreds of others in a vast collection in Krampus' underworld lair in the mountains of Central Europe, for him to monitor and spy on for having spared them. So I'm like, does that mean that this family gets to live their life one more chance before he comes after them, kills them completely? Because that's what the plot is basically telling me, that they're not caught in the snow globe. But at the end of the movie, it kind of gave that sense to it. I don't know. I wish I could.
I thought my takeaway at the end was like, oh, they're stuck in, like, they're just in there for eternity. Like,
yeah, I don't know. This is Wikipedia that I'm reading off of, so maybe it's wrong. But I wish I was able to message the writer, because I think personally it would be great that they were stuck to celebrate Christmas for all eternity, because they were so harsh towards the holiday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it was like, also, all the kid wanted was his family back, so it was kind of like just that twisted,
you got it,
wish. Yeah, you want them back. Here they are, and you have to do this every day.
Yeah, and I thought it was cool how, like, they did the whole present at the end. Like, I don't think it came out at the same time, but like how you had the Polar Express. He realized everything that he did the night before was real because of the little bell. And they did the same thing with Krampus's bell.
Yeah, he got his little Krampus bell.
Yeah, and everybody was like looking at each other, like they didn't, like, everybody started remembering everything that happened to them the night before, but no one wanted to talk about it, thinking that no one had the same dream. That's what it seemed like, because after that, everybody had like that oh shit moment, started looking at each other. It's like, oh, that was real.
Yeah, it's like everyone just kind of kept it to themselves, like, was this real? Or yeah. No, the ending was great. It was a good, I want to say twist. It's not like it was a twist ending, but it was an awesome reveal ending.
Most definitely, because the original poster, I don't think had the snow globe on it. I mean, I put as the thumbnail for the snow globe, but I think the original poster didn't have the snow globe. I think it was him, like his silhouette on top of a house. And then they later on released the snow globe for like a special poster or something like that. But again, great concept. And I really like that idea, because you can really tell that the writer and the director wanted to pay homage to like that sci-fi, take to it.
Yeah. No, they did a great job, and they could have easily just made a Krampus movie where he's just slashing and he's eating his way through the movie. And no, they did a good job on this, and you can tell they put a lot of love into the project.
For sure.
It's fantastic. It was not a chintzy little monster movie. It was it's very well done.
No. And back to the whole creatures and the actors that they got to play, besides each creature having its moment to shine, each family member had their own moment to shine, where each actor got to show, like, not kind of like how, not like with Home Alone, you had so many kids and the actors didn't really get to like be really big part of the story and just be like an extra. Each actor I felt like had a moment to like really really star and be a memorable character in the movie instead of just someone that they forgot about.
Well, each character shows off at the beginning, they're kind of showing off, I don't want to say it's their weakness, but it's their bad character trait. And each one of them gets to redeem themselves at some point in the film through their actions, whether it's the bad aunt, whether it's David Koechner's character, or the two little teen girls
twins
that were just
I think they were twins. If they weren't twins, they were pretty close in age. I know they were sisters.
Yeah, but they were pretty awful, and then they kind of turned it around. But every character had a redeeming quality. But like I said, that's why it just felt like it had a Willy Wonka vibe to it.
Yeah. The father became a hero at the end, and he cared about his mom and didn't want to leave his mom behind. But the real moment shine was when, the mother towards the end was being very caring, like almost Macaulay Culkin and his mom feel to it, where his mom basically sacrificed herself so he could get away with one of his cousins in the car.
And I think the movie, it just from the family aspect of it reminded me of like several Christmas movies, and I don't know if they did it on purpose, but it definitely felt that way. Home Alone for one. The house even looks like the Home Alone house.
For sure. I guarantee it. They probably like were paying homage and did a bunch of like Easter eggs towards that stuff.
Yeah. So that felt like it. And then when the cousins come to visit the other family, it felt like in Christmas Vacation, like the way they were treating it was like, when Cousin Eddie and his family are coming in, like that's almost exactly how it was treated. So I'm sure they did that on purpose as well. But it was just a really, really cool how they did all that. And but great cast of actors, and Adam Scott's hilarious. I love everything he's in. So I mean,
that's the uncle, right? Yeah.
No, David Koechner's the uncle. Adam Scott is the dad. And he's in Step Brothers, The Aviator. He's in all kinds of movies. He's Parks and Recreations.
Yeah, and that's what's great too is that those two guys have done such great comedy work, but they got a chance to show like their serious side, and I thought that was great. And I think the uncle is great too, because if I'm not mistaken, I have to check, but the uncle, he's from Missouri, and I'm originally from Missouri. Like I live in Florida, but still, I thought that was a great take. And if I'm not mistaken, the uncle, he was like part of a small country town, and you don't really hear a lot of stories of well, now you do, but just seeing a lot of small people like growing up in a small country town and then they leave and make it big in Hollywood. It's great to see that.
It's really great to see that. There's a lot of actors like that. I think George Clooney is one of those. Like Kentucky or something. But hey, you got to start somewhere.
Exactly. And it's one of those things, like, it's one of those things, I don't know why people, I mean, back then it was different, but now it's more accepted. Like, I watched an interview with the actress who played as Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street. And she was talking about, in her interview with Michael Rosenbaum, the guy who played Lex Luthor from Smallville, how originally, after she did that role, even though it was a big hit, Elm Street, the first movie, when she was trying to auditions for other movies, she didn't have that as her credits because it was still at that point in the 80s that you really didn't talk much and was proud to be in a horror movie, no matter how much money that movie made. So it's great to see horror movies become such a great thing where you put that on your credits on, I was this character in this movie and that movie. And it's really great to see horror become the type of genre that it deserved to be.
Yeah, well, I think what it is just everyone, well, they grew up with it,
Mm-hmm.
80s and 90s, so it is almost like a badge of honor
Yeah.
to be in one now. And like, have you seen the trailer for the new Toxic Avenger movie?
Yes. Yes.
Like, you see how many actors are in that?
Yeah,
It's like,
because it was part of their childhood.
yeah, and so I mean, it's just it's just now it's just like I said, it's badge of honor stuff to be in those kind of movies.
And I know you were
It's the
working
cool
with
thing.
like, is Trauma in charge of it still? The new movie or no?
I don't know. I've been so far removed from Troma, but
Yeah.
I imagine what they obviously own the license for all the Toxic Avengers stuff and Toxic Crusaders. So I imagine they have some hand in it.
It's just going to be interesting to see how.
Like, it's not made by Troma
No.
Entertainment.
Do you know who's playing Toxie though?
Yeah, it's Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, I'm like, some people are like, why you're having Peter? He's not the right height. He's supposed to be this strong guy. I'm like, it shouldn't. It doesn't matter.
It does not matter one bit.
And guess what? Peter Dinklage is an amazing fucking actor. I mean, that I can't remember the movie that he was in, but the movie where him and this woman was having it was like a romance comedy. I can't remember what it's called, but him being in a romance movie, at no part did I ever thought that, oh, it's a little man in love with a woman, because he does such a great job as an actor.
He's incredible. I think the first movie I ever saw him in is a movie called Safe Men.
Yeah.
It's I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's kind of like a cult classic. But he's in that, and he plays a hitman, I believe.
And he really, and sure, like, the guy who played Leprechaun, Willow, all that stuff. Warwick Davis, I think that's his full name. Yes, he did a lot of great stuff, but Dinklage, I think he really broke barriers, showing that just because I'm a small person doesn't mean I can't be a leading man or a main actor in like a romance movie or action TV show.
No, he's bananas. To me, he carried he carried Game of Thrones on his back.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah. No, he's incredible.
And sure, there was great lines from that TV show, but the thing, like, I need to buy the T-shirt just because I love that shirt. I drink and I know things. Or is it the other way around? Either way, great line.
Yeah. And he was in and people shit on this movie so much, and I don't understand it. I liked it. Is that Adam Sandler movie, Pixels?
Yeah, that was actually a great movie. I don't know why people hated that.
I don't either. Like, I don't like. It's an Adam Sandler movie, so you're gonna get what you get. You're not.
It's one of those things. It depends on the generation. Like my generation, I mean our generation, because we're pretty close in age. Our generation grew up on Adam Sandler and loved his shit, and still do. I watch a lot of Adam Sandler stuff still.
Oh, I still do. I mean, if I watch it, I'm going in knowing. Well, that's not true, because he does a lot of serious stuff as well, which is just as good. But
yeah. Like when I see a school bus drive by, I always think of that song.
I'll think of that, or I'll think of Chris Farley as the driver.
Yeah.
In Billy Madison.
Yeah. I mean, I would sing the song, but I'll probably get copyright for singing it. If you know which one I'm talking about.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to sing it live.
Yeah. And then yeah, and then at times where like one time, I can't remember what it was, but just the whole like, stop looking at me, Swan. Like, I thought that was great. Like every time I see like a Swan porcelain thing in like a store, I'll just say that out loud and see who knows what I'll be talking about.
Yeah. But sometimes I'll play with the shampoo and the conditioner. Make them fight like he does.
Yeah. And I love Sloppy Joe, but every time I see a Sloppy Joe can, I got to sing the song Sloppy Joe. but yeah, just overall great movie, 5 out of 5. the creators of Trick or Treat, just you could tell that it has those vibes, and it just is a great movie overall. And I'm happy that I recommend it to you, and it's on your Christmas list because it deserves to. It deserves to be watched on everybody's list. If they don't want like a oh no problem. When I first seen that, I'm like, that looks like a really great thing because I've seen the trailer and I watched it when it first came out. But again, it's one of those things like Halloween, because Halloween came out what, 2004, 2005. I know it was around the time when I was in.
The Rob Zombie one?
No, the Trick or Treat.
Oh, you're saying Halloween, so I was like, whoa, what?
Yeah, no, Halloween Trick or Treat movie.
I think Trick or Treat's 05. I could be wrong, but my gut wants to tell me it's 05.
Yeah, I was in college when that came out, and I remember watching it on, was it, I think, VHS or
2007.
I don't know. 2007. But I was in college when that came out, and I loved it. And it was one of those movies that it didn't get enough recognition like it did. I mean, a lot of people loved it when they watched it, but it's like how Killer Clowns from Outer Space and Trick or Treat, now you go to Spirit Halloween, you have memorabilia of everything for Killer Clowns. You could get so much like Trick or Treat stuff. You have like Sam, like mask. You have like the pop figures. There's so much of it, and I'm really glad that movie, just like this movie, is getting the recognition that it deserves. And sometimes that happens, that you have movies that will just go by under the radar for a while, and then one person might pick it up, review it, and watch it on YouTube. Like, I see a lot of people be like, oh, watching the RoboCop movie from the 80s for the first time and reacting to it, and they never seen it in their lives. Yeah, great, amazing movie. And people
haven't seen it.
Oh, right. But most of those people are like younger than us. But
I know it's hard. It's just hard. It's just hard to think about.
Oh, I know. But then after they watch it and their fans watch it, then it becomes so popular again, because you have a lot of these people who have fans they'll pay their Patreon to watch the movie live with them, or just watch their review on YouTube. So YouTube has done a really great thing to bring a lot of these movies that has been around for a while back into limelight and get like a whole new fan following again.
Yeah, that, I don't think the ultra violence in RoboCop. I mean, I don't think. No movie.
No
movies these days don't even come close to that. The satire, or the
The remake I thought was interesting, but
and that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, the remake I thought was interesting. Like, the one scene I really liked is when in the remake is that they took apart his whole body and all you saw was like his lungs, his one hand. That was really emotional, but
that is like that is probably the only that scene redeems that movie. That's how well that scene is.
Yeah,
but it's like they just took RoboCop, but just like it just didn't have the soul of a RoboCop movie.
No.
And that's
how many kids were taken to see RoboCop because they had this giant robot and they thought it was going to be a fun family action flick.
I was one of them. So
and then they basically brutally, like, not murdered, destroyed this man. Like, that scene in RoboCop, like, yeah. Like,
there's that scene. There's there's a fair amount of drug use.
Yeah, exactly. And then they made it into, and just like with Toxic Avenger, where it's not like a kid-friendly movie, and then they turn into a cartoon.
It was Marvel. It was on the Marvel
Yeah.
Like they used to on Saturday mornings they would play Spider-Man's Amazing Friends, and like tagged in that group was the RoboCop cartoon.
Yeah.
Because they're made by Marvel.
Yeah.
But I mean, every little kid went and saw RoboCop.
Oh yeah.
Every
of
little
course.
kid went and saw Predator in the movie theater. Every little kid went and saw Total Recall in the movie theater. Running Man.
I don't. And speaking of Christmas, like I think it was it a foot long, or maybe it was like 16, 18 inches, a little bit longer than a foot. I remember having a giant like RoboCop doll, and his leg would open up where he would put his plastic toy gun, and he had buttons and everything that you could press, and he would save his lines. And I thought that was just great.
Oh yeah, they also had. I mean, I bought this in Toys R Us, like Commando, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Commando. Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
It's like a really violent movie. He's cutting off arms and stuff. Like you can buy, like I remember buying like a foot size, like 12-inch doll from Toys R Us of Commando, and you can buy like a Rambo toy knife with a bazooka. It's mind-blowing times back then.
And I know exactly. I mean, I know the newest Mortal Kombat movie. I mean, not movie, but the Kombat video game. They brought in like playable characters, and you were able to play as RoboCop or Terminator. But Sega is the one who did it. Was it Sega or Nintendo where you were like RoboCop versus Terminator? I was like, man, imagine if they actually did that as a movie. I would love to see that.
They had a RoboCop versus Terminator, I think PlayStation game.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Yeah,
but yeah, great times. Yeah, we got a little off topic of the movie, but hey, I mean, it's old school stuff, and it's fun to talk about that stuff. But yeah, again, great movie. Anybody that gets off here, you can find it on Amazon. You could probably find it on other places.
Amazon has it on sale to rent right now.
Yeah.
For cheap. I think I paid
I didn't
$1.99 to rent it.
I thought to look it up, but I didn't even think to look it up. There's a great free streaming service, and the streaming platform has a lot of horror movies. And I can't remember what it's called.
Really?
But yeah, there's a streaming like it's one of those things that you download, and they have tons of movies on their platform.
You mean freebie or?
Yeah, like what it is that they'll have ones that you have to pay to watch, but then they have ones that are free, but then they have ones that are free, but you have to watch them because after a while they'll leave the free platform and then they'll go back into the buy one. I just can't remember.
It might be freebie because I think that's where I've been watching Tales from the Crypt episodes.
It's not freebie. It's called something else, but I'll have to think about it. But it's a platform that has a bunch of movies, but it just seems like they have like everything horror related on there. Like they even have like not just the Tales from the Crypts like live action. They even had the cartoon series on there that you can watch. And I was like, oh man, no one really remembers the cartoon.
No, I've been watching that. Actually, I think I saw that a couple weeks ago because I watch Saturday morning cartoons every Saturday on YouTube, and that popped up, which was really cool. Yeah. I mean that's.
But it's about an hour going by. I knew that this movie for a while we would find a way to like stretch it into an hour, but I mean at the same time you've been on the show for a while, so we know how to play off of each other, and you're not like a brand new person where it's like, okay, how am I gonna like really ask him questions and get him involved? Because sometimes that's a hard thing with new guests, that they might just say a couple stuff and it's like, well, I was hoping that when I asked this question, they were going to say a long sentence instead of a couple like, yeah, sure, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? You never know.
No, this is more becoming, I mean, feeling more like just hanging out with friends and talking about movies and comic books.
Awesome.
And,
awesome.
Just pop culture stuff. And that's kind of what it feels like. I think for the last 15 minutes, I didn't even think we were recording. I thought we were just.
Oh yeah, we're recording.
No, I'm joking. I knew we were recording, but I wasn't. It just didn't even dawn on me. Like it just.
Yeah.
This feels like we're just having fun.
But anybody watching afterwards, appreciate it as always. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you all celebrate, and see you all next year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.